actually a file. It store the data. It store the data into the system. Since it is storing the data into the system, it occupies the memory. Okay, so example, just take an example. So you have an application, you are running some application, and you want it to store all the data somewhere, right? Okay, to track your business and all those things. So whatever the IBM applications, they use a physical file to store their business data. Okay, so what kind of the physical file? So there is some different kind of table as well. You can see that in a table, and you can also the physical file. But when it comes to the data, so in the real time cases, you can see the different kind of the data. So the most of people knows that there is a two types of the data, that is a structured data and unstructured data. So when come to the structured data, so where you can see that, so it is a structured manner, like where you have a first name and last name and address, pin code, mobile number. It will be stored as a some structured format, like there is a one column, and for each column you can assign the some data. Okay, what is a unstructured data? Unstructured data where you don't have the specific structure. It's kind of the text, it's kind of the comments. Okay, so when you put any comments into the any video, will that be the structure? No, right? It's just a kind of the line. Okay, that is unstructured data. So when come to the physical file, the physical file will store what kind of the data, whether it will be stored structured data or whether it will be load the unstructured data. So physical file will store the structured data. Okay, since it is storing the structured data, so while you designing, while you creating any physical file, so you should explicitly define the structure. What is the meaning of the structure? What it is called as in terms of IBMI system? It is called as a DDS. Okay, what is calling as a structure? That is a DDS. So for example, you wanted to gather the employee information. Okay, the structured employee information. So what you have to do, you create a one physical file. So from the employee, what are the information you need? I need a employee name, employee address, employee mobile number, employee date of birth. So I need these four fields. Okay, so you should define those four fields, and then only you can get the data into your physical file. So that is why the what is a physical file? Physical file contain the actual data stored on the system. It contain only one record format. We'll talk about the record format. So one or more members, we'll talk about the members later. So an organize and store data efficiently and retrieving processing, and it's a fixed format and field level and record level access. So the basic understanding of the physical file. So you to understand physical file is store the data into the system. So what kind of data? Structured data. So how you can get the structured data, that we will see it later. But for now, you should be understand what is a physical file. Physical file store the data. How we can be stored? It's stored as a structure. Okay. So since we are talking about the structure, so you will get the employee name. That is a different type of the data type. The employee name always will be the alphabetic orders, right? So if you have come to the date of birth, is always kind of the date. If you get the mobile number, it will be the numeric format. So that is why, since you are going to get the structured format data while you defining the physical file DDS, you should aware of the data type as well. Okay, so based on the data type only, that kind of data. So for example, employee name you define as a character, so you will get the character type of the data. Okay, if mobile number you defined as a numeric, you will get the numeric data. Okay, so these are the different data types, okay, related to the database. So there is a character. This will allow the alphanumeric. Alphanumeric nothing but it will allow the A to Z. So it will allow the A to Z and 0 to 9. It will allow the A to Z and 0 to 9. Whereas a pack, it is for the numeric, where you have some decimal positions. Like when it comes to the salary, so you always have some decimal, right? When it comes to the amount field, I should at least have the two decibels. Okay, in that cases packed will be preferable. And date, so for example, date of birth, date of joining, all those things will be some kind of the date format. We use the date for date data type. And time, so if you wanted to get the time, we can use a time. And zone, it is also numeric, where you have a the rounded value. For example, the mobile number, you can go with the zone, because mobile number does not have the decimal positions, right? Still it will be allowed the decimal positions. But so what is the difference between the zoned and packed? It's kind of memory allocation. For example, mobile number is a 10 digits number. When you use a joint, it allocate the 10 bytes of memory in your system. When you use a packed, it will be allocate the only 5 bytes of memory allocation. The only difference is the memory allocation. Apart from that, the packed and joint you can be used for the numeric. So these are the data types. And what is a physical file? It just Physical file is an object. It store the data, occupies the memory. Okay, it is having the single record format. Okay, so that is a physical file. Okay, so we discuss about the physical file used for to store the data. So it's storing the structured format data, and we also have the some data types to define the fields or to get that kind of data from the users. So what is a process? What is a process to create the physical file? And before that, do you have any structure for the physical file? Before I am creating the physical file, what are the things I should know? Okay, so what is the structure of physical file? Okay, what are the things I need to use to create a one physical file? Okay, the physical file have the four levels. What is the file level? This is a record format level, and field level, and key field level. So what is a file level? Here we use some keywords to handle the data. The best example is you have some account file. So you have a account file. So for every customer, bank account number will be the unique. It is not a duplicated number, right? Bank account number will be the unique. So you wanted to control that in the file level. For example, today I created one account number for the one user, one customer. Okay, tomorrow I need to make sure if anyone is entering the some duplicate data, so it should not allow. I wanted to do the control of my data. So then you can go with the file level keywords, where you can use the one keyword called as a unique. Okay, so that you can use unique keyword you can use. So this is a file level keyword, you can use the unique. And there is a record level, means it is a record format information. You can give the some record different record format name. Under the record format you define the field. Here what is a field? As we discussed, from the employee, I need a information of employee name, employee number, employee address, and employee date of birth. Okay, or else customer name, customer number, customer date of birth, or customer anything, so other information. Here you define the fields. Okay, what are the information you wanted to get it? So just take an example. Here you can open the Facebook. Okay, so I'm just using the sign up for now. Okay, as you can see here, what I need, let's go to the create new account. So here, what are the information they are getting? So they are getting the first name and surname and date of birth and gender, mobile number or email address, and the password. Okay. So this is the information they are getting from the front end, and back end it will be loaded into some database file. So how it will be loaded? Structured manner, because here you can see you are typing the data separately for each and every field. It may be stored into the structured manner only. Okay. The same way from the customer also I need the same kind of information. How the file, you got this information, you have to store it into the backend file, right? So the all these fields should be defined in the backend file as well. Okay, that is called as the fields. Here you define the fields, what are the information you wanted to get it from the customer. So that fields you have to define it. And when you define it, you should define the length and data type as well. Okay, so you should define the length and data type. As you can see here, first name I can give numbers and everything here, but when comes to the gender, either you can select only these options. And when comes to the mobile number, so this here they define the some kind of data types, right? Since since it is allowing the uh, numbers and alphabets, so it will be the alphanumeric. And here you can see the mobile number, so it is also will be the alphanumeric maybe. So because here they are asking to create some, it can be allowed the mobile number or email address both. Okay, so this is the fields. And what is the key fields? The key fields is very important topic in the physical file. Okay, let's suppose we have a account file. In the account file, the account number is there, and the account holder name and account date of birth and account, that email address, all the personal information is there. Okay, and out of those fields, so whatever this information we gathered from out of those fields, I made one field as a key field. Why I made that field as a key field? Let's suppose account number, I made it as a key field. Okay, why I made it as a key field? In future, if I wanted to retrieve that specific account information, I don't want to give all that information and retrieve, right? I need a one field where I can just do the some algorithms, and it can be search if it is there, and I'll get the other information as well. Okay, so where you have a, if you go to the any airport and check in, what you usually give, you just give the passport number, and you will not say that your passport number and first name, last name, date of birth, all those information you will not tell to the any person, right, during the checkout, check-in. So there you just mention the passport number, and all other your information they can see, right? The system operator can see how it is handling. So that is a key field. So based on that key field, you can retrieve the other information. Okay, so that is the other information. How it can be retrieved? It can be programmatically you can retrieve, or it can be so that will be the, since it is a key field, so in the programmatically also you can retrieve the other fields information. So that is a key field. So now question is, all these fields are mandatory if I wanted to, all these levels are mandatory if I wanted to create a physical file? No. So but the record level and field level is mandatory, because without defining the any field, so you are creating the physical file, you know nothing but you wanted to retrieve the some information, store the some information, right? How you can store it? Based on the fields. Okay, so at least you need some fields, the fields are mandatory, and record level you should mention the record format name. Okay, the file level is up to you. Sometimes you no need to avoid any duplicate, still you wanted to allow the some duplicate values and whatever it is, it's up to you either you wanted to use the file level or not. And key field level also, it's up to the requirement, either you wanted to go with or not. But record level and field level is it's required as a physical file. But and what about the format? If I wanted to create a physical file, should I follow the same format? So I wanted to go to file level first, and record level first, and field level first, and key field level. What if I don't want to use the file level? Do I need to mention anything? So no, you no need to mention anything, but you should follow this format. If you are using the file level, first you have to define the file level keyword. If you are not using, you completely skip it, and you can go with the record level. And if you are using the field level, you can use field level. If you are using the key field level, you should use that after the field level. You should not use the field level, key field level, and field level. Okay, if you wanted to skip it, you can skip it. So it's up to you. Okay, so this is the levels of physical file. So these entries are used to define the file. This is a data description. It is called as a DDS. Okay, so okay, now I know what is physical file is. Physical file is basically storing the data. It's having the some levels. So there's a four levels: file level, record format level, field level, and key field level. And if I wanted to define any fields, I know the data types as well. So now I'm ready to create a physical file in the IBMI system. How can I create it? So do you have any process where I can create first in the system? If you wanted to place one folder, if you wanted to create, for example, you wanted to upload your photos or your gallery into your local system. So obviously specify the one path, right? Obviously you have to go to the, you have to navigate to the one path, and there you can paste your gallery. Okay, so maybe you can go into the D drive, that is called as a library, and you can create one folder photos, that is called as a source physical file. And there you can put all the photos, those called as the members. Okay, you understand? So now you know all what is the process of creating the physical file, but how you can go and create into the IBMI system. The first thing, you can use strsu. So this is the one command, or you can use a work mbr pdm. So this is also one command. Either you can use strsu or work mbr pdm, so you can go. But if you go into the work mbr pdm, there is the option called f6 to create. F6 is nothing but again same. Or if you wanted to use directly command, you can use strsu. Okay, so there you have to go and specify the type, what kind of the file you are creating. It is a physical file, yeah. Okay, as a developer, you are creating the physical file, but how the system understand this is a physical file? Based on the type. Okay, so type is very very important in IBMI system. So based on the type only, to understand either it is a physical file, either it is a logical file, either it is a rpgle program, either it is a clle program. So what kind of object it is, what kind of source it is. Okay, so the type is very required. If you have a physical file, then type always will be the pf. Okay, the physical file type will be the pf. And here you have to specify the file name. Okay, what is the file name? For example, you are getting the information related to the account, your file name will be the account. If you are getting the information related to the employee, your file name will be the employee. Okay, so define the record format and define the fields and length, what are the fields you wanted to get it, and specify the key fields. Okay, so do you wanted to make it any key field which you declared in the fields. Okay, so you do not give the new name to key field, and key fields always you have to get it from the defined fields. And crtpf, okay, till here it will be the member. Okay, you will be created, but you can store the data once this member will be an object. Okay, so once it will become the object, then only it will be the you can use that for the inserting the data. How you can create this member to object? By using crtpf. Crtpf is a command, or if you wanted to go with some shortcut, the 14 option. Okay, so what is this work mbr pdm? Okay, what is this work mbr pdm? This is a location. As I said, if you wanted to paste your gallery into the local, so you should navigate to the one location, right? So the same way in IBMI system, if you wanted to write any source, you should navigate to the one place. How you can go that specific place? By using work mbr pdm. In work mbr pdm, you have to explicitly mention the library name and source physical file name. So once you mention there, so there you can go and create the members. It can be database, it can be rpgli program, it can be whatever it is, but you can create it there. Okay, so that is a physical file creation. So this is the structure of the physical file, as you can see. So this is a library name, and this is a source file name, and this is a one account. Okay, so this is a member account, is a member name. Here what I am doing, this is a file level where you can see unique keyword. I wanted to make all these fields as a unique, I don't want to duplicate it. Okay, so this is a record format. As you can see, this is a record format level, and these are the fields. Okay, these are the fields information I'm getting. Okay, here account number and account currency and account name. Okay, so these are the information I'm getting, and out of these fields I just made these four fields as a key field. Okay, so whenever you make it these four fields, you have to type these four fields information, then only you can retrieve it, or else you can type the first two fields or first three fields, any of this. Okay, so these are the structure of the physical file. This is a structure of the physical file. Okay, so